Everybody, just welcome you guys to the meetup. What a great turnout. If we need more chairs and a table, let me know. We'll pull out some more if you guys feel a little crunched back there. Just want to introduce you. This is the WordPress Houston meetup. I have to remind myself and look at my sheets and my notes here because I might forget where I'm at. It's been a busy week, a busy month. So I just came back from WP Elevation, which is a WordPress elevation group. If you are a WordPress developer or agency owners, I highly recommend going to WPElevation.com. It's a fantastic training for people that own businesses, that essentially any freelancer, to tell you the truth, how to run your business, manage your business, get leads and all that stuff. So I'm a mentor. Afterward, come up and ask me and I'll get your email and I'll send you a link. But it was 3 days in Santa Barbara, or Santa Monica, I should say. It was really fantastic. We had a great time. So just to let you know, it's a fantastic online course. So WordPress here, we've got 3 locations. If you're not familiar, we've got the one here in Houston. There's one in Houston. Pete runs that one. The one in the Woodlands is run by Adam, and then I run the one here, Sugarland. We've got 3 sponsors. First, we've got the Black Sheep Agency. You see them flipping through here. They are fiercely dedicated to serving our community. They strive to organize an army of co-conspirators who share a common vision. Together with our clients and collaborators, we unite around one thing: building a future we can believe in. Then we have the Fort Bend Chamber, and you are sitting in their building. The Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce inspires, enhances, and promotes the thriving economic environment in which we work and live. As a major contributor to the economic prosperity, our community's vitality, the tourism market, we are committed to maintaining and improving the excellence and quality of life we enjoy. Our chamber programs and initiatives will connect you with boundless and exceptional opportunities. Highly agree with that. I was a board of directors on the chamber, a great group of people. If you haven't connected with them, I recommend it. And then company Specs. We're another sponsor. We're an exclusive digital marketing company working with B2B companies. Most of our customers are oil and gas or even contractors. We believe in small business owners and their tireless dedication to their craft. We believe each business has something great to offer, and we make sure everyone else knows it too. So that's how I live and breathe my business, is making sure business owners can grow. And this is not going to work. It's going to be horrible sound here. Stop mucking around with it. Usually we take just a moment just to give your name and the business or the blog name. If we can kind of keep it quickly, we don't have he's got a lot to say. So just keep it pretty short, maybe 20 seconds, name and the company real quick. And that way we all can kind of say hi to each other, introduce each other. So if you want to start. Interesting news-wise with WordPress? You're like, no, Christina, just move it on. All right, so I want to introduce to you, this is Matt. Matt is from, should I say eWeb Results, or is it? Yeah, eWeb Results. They have the #1 SEO podcast, and you go ahead and introduce yourself. But no, wait, let me read from this here. Matt is the co-host of Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing, the most popular SEO podcast on iTunes since 2009, and author of Build Your Brand Mania: How to Transform Yourself into an Authoritative Brand to Attract Your Ideal Customers. Amazon bestseller. Here, nice. Also, the CEO of Web Results, a top internet marketing agency since 1999. Is a digital marketing strategist and expert in most things internet marketing related. So welcome. Welcome. Let me give this to you now. Okay. Yeah, right?
Hey, I appreciate it. Here
you go. You want to stick that in?
All right. How's that? Good?
Yep.
All right. Well, it was really good to hear kind of everyone's background, because I didn't know really how to take this. I could go really technical, or I could kind of keep it at a overview level. I'll try to mix it up because there's some small business owners and then there's some agency managing people. So I'll try to kind of tier the information, not to go too deep, but at any point, if you have a question about something, okay, if you guys have a question about something, I'm happy to answer it in the middle of the talk. I feel like My goal here today is for you to walk away with some knowledge and some value. And so I'm going to try to give you some actionable steps that you can take away this and be more productive and grow. A little bit about our story. Started building websites back in 1999. Really quickly, after we built a website, they would come back a couple months later and go, this website's great, but how do I get on the first page in Google? And so, we started getting into all the different internet marketing related things. And SEO, for a lot of people, I know someone mentioned it back there, works with SEO people. SEO is kind of a black box, right? So you're like, you've heard SEO, and there's tons of different definitions for it. SEO is really all encompassing. It's about like getting visibility online is really, so it's like online PR, but it falls into so many different buckets. I think people typically boil it down into like getting on the first page on Google, and all the search engines, but really Google's the one that matters the most because they have the predominant market share. We started a podcast to kind of explain to people, because there's not a lot of visibility in the industry of how we do things, why we do things, and to try to provide information and educate our clients, potential clients. We do a lot of consulting, that sort of thing. Recently came out with a book, and that was geared towards small business owners or anybody that's looking to build their brand online, right? So doctors, lawyers, plastic surgeons, contractors, plumbers, anybody that trades, like in the trade industry that trades on their name, is predominantly our client base. And we've had success in all these different verticals, but typically B2C, direct response marketing, of like when people need something and they're searching for it, is really where I've seen SEO excel the most. I don't know how many people here understand like sales funnels, and maybe I'll kind of touch on that a little bit. But just to kind of set this up for you to understand, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is personal experience, things that I've done with clients, and also some really great examples out there in the industry. And I can tell you, imagine this for yourself. Like, I know a lot of us, like, raise your hand, like, how many people have to prospect for new business, just so I can get an idea? Okay, decent number, about 50%, okay? And, like, does anybody like prospecting? Like, no? Is it like a good use of time? Like, or would you rather be doing like what you love to do, right? And so really what I've perfected is a way to generate business online that's inbound. So we have clients from all across the US that actually call in to do business with us, and I don't ever look for business. I definitely get referrals and stuff like that based on good work, but I'm not out there prospecting. I'm not out there networking. We were talking earlier, she was a headhunter. I did that. I did cold calling, 60, 70 calls a day for 8 years. I was done with it, okay? And that's really a lot of my background of how I moved into this with email automation and some other things. But I think the number one thing, and I would write this down, like if you're like trying to figure out what you need to be doing online, I would say the number one thing you need to be doing is generating content, okay? Data out there suggests that 90% of people consume content. I don't know the other like 9%, but then only 1% of people actually generate their own content. And the content generators are the ones that have the lion's share of the market. So even if you're a business or you're an individual, the name of the game today in the new economy is content generation. I would tell you that that has been the one biggest differentiator for us. Does anybody know the difference between an expert and an authority? Right? Okay. Well, so here's another one. I was at this conference, actually, I just got back today. They did one. What's the difference between drive and confidence? Okay. Are you driven or are you confident? And driven's based on fear. Okay. and so it was really interesting. This lady, this consulted, like she was like consulting Usher and like different people, and she did all their online marketing, that sort of thing. But the difference, going back to kind of what we were talking about, the difference between an authority and an expert, you can be an expert in a lot of things, but an authority creates influence, and they can make things move in a direction. Like people will hire an expert and tell them to do something, but an authority they kind of listen to. And when you're generating business online, or when people are looking at you versus, you know, all the other people that are on the first page of Google, if you're one of those choices, how are they going to select you versus somebody else? They're going to select the person that definitively knows going to help them the most. And what your goal is to do is to be always that other choice. It's this company and you, this company and you. Does that make sense? And so there's a lot of things that you can do. And you know, the things that I'm going to be covering really most right now is like and trust. And I know a lot of y'all have heard about these things. Does anybody know, or does anybody think which one's most important? Okay, everybody's got it. Yes, trust is most important. And there's a lot of things that you can do to generate trust online. A really good statistic by Bright Local is that, and the first one of them that we're going to talk about is reviews. How many of y'all are like constantly generating reviews online? Constantly. All right. So we can have a little contest. Who thinks they have the most reviews online? How many reviews, sir?
I have several brands. One of them has around 8,000 reviews on Amazon.
Okay, you win. You win. You win.
Product in that category.
Yeah. And so reviews are based on something called heuristics. It's something that I've kind of started to study. It's basically people take shortcuts to make decisions. Before, people used to do a lot of research. People, you know, spend all this time and all those comparison sites that used to be out there. And now, like, what do? You look at the stars. A lot of stars. You know, what's the star rank? Maybe look at the best rankings, worst rankings. See if it's like those reviews are even legit, right? Because you don't even trust like a lot of the reviews. And then you make the decision, right? So you're making a decision because we're so overloaded with information, and technology is just, you know, we're hit with so many different ads. We have so much going on. We're just trying to find shortcuts to make decisions. And so reviews are so important. The Bright Local study says that it was 84% last year, and now 85% of people consider an online review equal to the referral of a personal friend. Okay? So we all know, right, a referral is like the best source of like new business that has the highest likelihood to close. Yeah.
But do you know about the real trusted ones? Like, for instance, like I don't think Glassdoor or Yelp are very good anymore. I think they've been propagandized, you know.
So there's actually a pie chart. I think it was back from like 2015, and it broke apart where people look for reviews online, okay? And this was actually really an epiphany for me, is like, I just thought everybody looked at Google, okay? I was like, the Google reviews near Google My Business, I thought that's all that really mattered. And what I was thinking is like, I think it was like 20% of people were going to Better Business Bureau, right? And then I went and looked, and I was like, we have 0 reviews on Better Business Bureau, you know? And then there's like Trustpilot, and there's industry-specific ones like TripAdvisor or HomeAdvisor or Amazon. It really depends on your product, but the thing that you have to do is really try to get yourself outside of you and go, okay, where are people coming to my website? What are they looking at? And what we've done is we've just tried to hit like some of the bigger areas, like Facebook, like if people are on LinkedIn reviews, like, so you want to try to balance your reviews, because not everybody's going to go to the same place that you're going to go. Like, and that was one of the hardest things for us to do, is kind of take that step back and go, okay, how are people finding us online? And then we got to make sure that we have reviews in all those areas. There was a book out there by Robert Cialdini, I'm sure a lot of you read it, called Influence, okay? he came out with a new book called Prefluence, and it's about pre-framing in someone's mind what they're going to see before they talk to you. And it's super, super important. So tying it back to WordPress, okay, when someone comes to your website, the first thing you really want them to see is a third-party review or testimonial from somebody else, okay, to say the things that you can't say about yourself. And so you really, really want to put that as high up on the page, maybe above the fold, if you can. Yeah?
What about audio reviews?
Yes, so that's kind of where I was going to go next is when you talk about reviews and you talk about, like, can you trust these reviews? Because there's a bunch of, like, these spammy reviews that you can tell. And a lot of and look at Yelp. I actually really hate Yelp because they decide if reviews are real or not, and then they hide them. And so we've generated a lot of reviews on Yelp, and then you just keep hiding them. And it's like, it's kind of weird. But essentially, the best type of reviews are video reviews, okay? A video review with someone's name. It's really hard unless you're an actor and you're hiring an actor. If you're going to go through all that work, just get a real review, okay? But video reviews are the most trustworthy when you use the person's name, or you don't have to use their last name or their company. So name, company is ideal. And then audio reviews are next, or even visual reviews, right? Pictures, right? So if you're going to have a review, you want to have the picture next to it. Like a lot of sites that I see that come to us just have text. It's not even in italics, and then it's like someone's first name. And people are so untrustworthy these days. Yeah?
Is there a mechanical, or is there a website, or is there some mechanized way by which we can get audio reviews?
Yeah, there's a lot of different services out there. I can tell you the thing.
Pick up the phone and put, and then go.
Well, yeah, there's apps on your phone that you can record the calls. We typically we use something called Loom to record actually all our screen shares because our clients are national, and so we screen share. You can actually have a little picture of you in the corner because you really want people to see you. That builds trust. There's certain things that build trust. One's proximity. Like there's all these things that I can go into, like the science of credibility. But to answer your question specifically, is there are some fancy sites that you can pay $29 for. You can pay $99 for. If you just search for it, you can find it. There's a buddy of mine actually called Magnifico. That he's testing it out. Basically what it is you send somebody an email, and they can basically, it'll pull up their phone, access their mic, and you record a video testimonial right there on the spot and send it back to you, and you pay for just the ones that you like. So after you deliver service to somebody, you can ask them, and then it goes on their phone, pops up, you can capture it and send it back. And so I think it's like $29, but there's a couple free apps I can get to you after that I've seen people that are doing it. It's not as smooth as that, but it really is. You could send somebody a video review or talk to them, and then they have the option to reply, and you can capture that. We record all our content calls or all our calls with clients, because if we're having multiple people work on it, clients don't like to repeat themselves. And so we record all the calls, we transcribe it so people can kind of skim it, or people can listen to it and get a flavor for who they are. Trustpilot, that's a big one out there that has a little widget you can put on a website, and it'll capture the reviews and puts it on the website. There's a bunch of different review sites. You got to look for your industry specifically, but there's gonna be stuff there. Yeah.
What's the name of the
I'll give. I have a list of. I can definitely give you all tools for anything you're looking for. I haven't seen the audio as much. Okay, I'm just telling you from a logistical standpoint. I've seen the video, which is visual and audio, capture that really easily, and then text, of course, or grabbing it from other sites, and you can aggregate it to your site, or you can manually put it on there. And then what I would recommend doing is going and getting, if the person's name and they're giving you a review, go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, go to some public platform where they put their information out, and grab that picture. That picture is going to help improve the conversion rate or trust of that testimonial. That's probably one of the biggest things. People throw those testimonials on there. And also a lot of times, you know, and Google does like this to have a page that's like a testimonials page. I'll build that page, but also I'll sprinkle in testimonials all throughout the website, right? On like almost every page I'll have a testimonial, and I'll have it higher up on the page, not necessarily above the fold on every one of them, but I'll have it somewhere in the middle of the content or break it up to kind of reinforce that. Even on the Contact Us page, I really like to put a testimonial there to kind of push them over the fence if they're thinking about contacting you or something like that. So when you're building these websites on WordPress, I would encourage you, you know, you have text testimonials, you can pull it from wherever people are leaving them, but try to get a picture with it, because you'll just improve that trust. That's the biggest thing. Is today everybody's BS meter is so good, right? And everybody's so like, is this real or not? Also with videos, I've seen that videos taken with a phone versus a professionally done video are 3 times more trustworthy. Okay, and just kind of hitting on videos again, I'm kind of going off track here a little bit, but essentially, here's another statistic I would encourage you to like really let this soak in. By next year, 80% of all searches online are going to be videos. That's crazy, right? 80%, huh? 80% of all searches, like look at like Facebook, right? If you're including everything that people are searching for online, you look for how the algorithms are tripping it, whether you're on you know, LinkedIn or you're on Facebook or whatever, what gets the most visibility? It's videos, and that's what people are looking for. That's putting more time on page. You know, videos, people would rather just kind of be spoon-fed the information than have to like go seek it out. You see that, you know, with like Audible, and people are potentially reading less, you know, and what you can do is you can record the video. And YouTube, if you post it on YouTube, there's other places to post it. You can transcribe the video and then just post it below it. And so you got to think about how do people want to consume information, and give them all those different kind of options. Also on pages, like even when you're looking to capture someone's information, have a big form, you know, have a button. You know, you can test out different things, but different people want to communicate different ways. Like I always, when I talk to clients, hey, how would you like me to follow up with you? Is text message, is phone call? Some people it's like Facebook Instant Messenger. You got to really start thinking in terms of them. And what we try to do is, because there's definitely data that weights it one way or another, but we try to kind of hit the bigger areas. Same thing with SEO. Back in 2016, there was over 200 ranking factors. I think there's far more than that actually today. You know, you want to try to kind of hit the big ones if you don't have a full team and you're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck. Did that answer your question? I'll get you some. Yeah.
So if we have a video on the homepage of the website, not like on YouTube, but like on the actual website, where would you transcribe that and put that back to
Depending on what the video is about. So like so if you're talking about videos, yeah, you can hide it and you can still let the spiders read it. I would think a About Us video could be great on the homepage. It could also be great on the About Us page. The About Us page is the most looked at page besides the homepage. So the About Us page, if you're thinking about creating videos for a business, I think that you want a About Us page. You want an About Us page, and then you definitely want the explainer videos. Okay, and that could be, you know, on Google, like the vertical search bar, like commonly asked questions, like kind of a Q&A. It could be how your product works. People want to kind of see it in action. People want to see what they're getting in the explainer video. And then what do y'all think the other big bucket is of videos that you should have on your website? Testimonials. Yeah, we already talked about it. So testimonials. You definitely want testimonials. And that's really, when you look at videos of like content assets, those are the 3 content assets that you want that fall into the biggest buckets. And if you're running a business at a certain level, these are kind of your core assets, just like your website's your core digital asset. And I believe personally that SEOs like should be the first line of like marketing dollars should go into SEO if people are searching for you online, if the demand's there. So Google harvests demand, right? You can use all kinds of tools to see how many people are searching for different keywords, and your goal is to like get that visibility to harvest those keywords. Now, if you're selling something that people don't know about or not searching for, potentially like feng shui, like there might not be a lot of searches even nationally for that, you're going to have to generate demand, okay? And that's where Facebook comes in. Facebook generates demand, Google harvests demand, okay? And your goal is to drive all those to your website, and these are the three kind of video assets from what I'm seeing of where everything's moving to. And you can use these in a lot of different ways, from a sales funnel to on the website to remarketing to running them on Facebook. So if you really have those are kind of the core assets that I encourage you to get to. Okay, so we were talking about trust. What's another way that you can generate trust quickly, right? So here's my mom worked for Microsoft for like 25 years. So I love this study and I talk about it in my book. So average American has an attention span of 8 seconds, and a goldfish has an attention span of 9. So that was a 2013 study. And so, what that's really just trying to express to you is you have to get to the point quickly. People want to make sure when they land on a website, they're in the right spot, okay? And so that's where kind of really having the headlines, saying the name, like people need to know they're in the right spot. Think about the analogy I use is like if someone was pushed out of a plane with a parachute and they landed in the middle of the desert, like do they know where to go? Like is there like road signs on like where to go? And so you want to be really, really explicit. A lot of people have too many options when you come to the website, and average mind can only think about 7 things at one time, and typically 4 or 5 of those things you're actually thinking about like what you ate and like what you're going to do later and all that. So if you have more than 3 options, you actually overload somebody and they have paralysis and they usually just leave, okay? There's a lot of usability data out there. Typically, what I'm seeing working the best is it could be a video, or you have a hero shot with a big call to action, and you're like, fill out this form, get this downloadable, whatever you're asking. And typically you want to be asking for, you want to give value to get. Like you shouldn't be going, do you want a free consultation? Okay, like I know everybody, that's the go-to, free consultation. But that's kind of like if you're going on a date with somebody and you're moving really, really quickly. You know what I mean? So you want to say, hey, like here's something of value. Usually have a picture of it, have some kind of ebook or something like that if it makes sense for your business. For a lot of businesses it does. The rule of thumb with a downloadable or something like that, and this is what I've heard and it makes a lot of sense. I heard this at a conference last year. Any downloadable you have would be something you would typically charge for, or someone would be willing to pay money for, okay? And if it's not one of those things, find a better piece of bait to hook somebody to get their contact information, okay? Just asking for a free consultation, you haven't shown any value yet. Now, if you have all those videos on your site and they've read those first, or they've watched them, then they might be willing to contact you. But you gotta show, you gotta give, you gotta look for that reciprocity, but you gotta be the one to give first. So when you, so kind of going back to it though, what would be another way that you could generate trust quickly within maybe that first 8 seconds online? Anybody got an idea? Like on the home page, what would you do? I think that it's a great interactive downloadable tool, but from a generating trust standpoint, that's trying to get them to engage with you, and that is the next step. but they haven't decided yet if they want to engage with you. Yeah.
So the reviews that I go for are the ones that have 5 stars, big numbers.
Sure.
I'll look at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and if it's mostly 4s and 5s, I'll take a look at the product. If it isn't, I don't.
Yeah, yeah. Beyond reviews, though, and I'll just tell you. So what I think you should do next on a website is you should have some kind of trust symbols. Okay, what's a trust symbol? The most or best commonly known trust symbol is like that Better Business Bureau logo, right? And I like to put it right up in the corner, right next to the logo. Okay, so you land there and you go, this brand and Better Business Bureau. Okay, like I'm in a safe place. You know what I mean? And I recognize that, and you're trying to get some kind of halo effect with that logo and that right above the fold within that first 8 seconds. Another thing you can do to build trust is you could, like, if you've established, you've been around for 10 years, people are looking for some kind of permanence, that you're not some fly-by-night operation. If you've been in business, established and whenever, right below your logo. So I've found in the data and every website we build, we try to associate some kind of trust early that's targeted to that industry. That could be, you know, a Google partner, like, you know, for me, it could be a Google partner logo, right next to our brand, something that people would recognize and associate with you with, that they're starting to build that trust.
Other companies that you work with, so if you like Ford or Exxon, or,
Yeah, like a trust bar. So a trust bar. So I like, if you go to ewebresults.com, basically we say, hey, here's what we want you to do. Say all these great reviews, and then we put all our different badges, right, that we've earned. And if you're out there, if your industry has some kind of little online certification you can get, I would encourage you to get it. You're just trying to get things that are a differentiating factor. What people did, I think it's been overdone a little bit, but I think a large majority of the population, it will really resonate with. You've seen, like, been on ABC, been on CBS. All that is, and you can do it, is by running a press release. Okay, so you run a press release, and you show up on their site. You can now say, as seen on whatever. And so I think it's been overdone, but it is totally a way to do that. So what you want to do is try to build that credibility, right? So you get somebody, third party, saying, hey, they're awesome, or whatever it is, right? Or this product's awesome. And then the second thing is just like, hey, we know what we're talking about. We're certified in all these different things. We've worked with all these different companies. We're somebody, right, that you can trust. Okay? Can anybody think about something else that you might want to put on your website that would help maybe build the trust? Absolutely. So those kind of explainer videos that we were talking about is absolutely something that you want to put on there. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so I'll give you kind of my 2 cents, and this is how I view the world. Okay, so everybody's going to have like a different way, and I'll tell you, a lot of websites, right? You go to the website and you see those social media buttons across the top, right? In my opinion, that's not where you want to put them, because what you're doing is you're directing them off your site. I mean, think about Facebook, right? And you click on something, okay? And they open up a website, right? That link, it opens up in Facebook. You don't want to take people off your site if you're trying to get them to do something on your site and you've done the work to get them there. Yeah?
Since I'm a real estate broker, I've got a Google map with a pin in it, and I've been doing this a long time.
Sure.
And I've got a pin in the Google map of every location in the Houston area that I've done a transaction.
Yeah.
And there's lots of them.
Yeah, like infographics. So let me kind of tie that in, because I think that there's still a couple more points on social media I kind of want to hit on. So when you're looking at social media, don't you set up like 10 accounts and you like put them all on there, right? You see all those websites that they have like 10 of them on, and you click on one and they got like 9 followers. Well, you don't want that, right? That doesn't build trust. So only put the one or two that you're active on, that your users are active on. And don't try to be an expert in all these different things. Like Pinterest, pick Pinterest if that's what it is for products. I think Pinterest actually for sales related thing is going to be massive. I wish I could invest in Pinterest because it's basically just everything you want to buy and like look at, and like it's amazing. I have a couple buddies that do affiliate stuff where they build different pages of like shoes or t-shirts or whatever, like all black shoes, and then they drive it with the affiliate link to Amazon. And I'm not saying it's like a value add thing. I'm just saying that there's a big marketplace out there of how to do these things. But pick a platform that you're comfortable with and that you want to be able to interact with customers. Like, so when someone leaves you a review on Facebook, you need to go reply. You need to go like it. It's basically someone's going, I love you, I love your stuff, and it's crickets, right? It's just really, really painful because you're trying to do so many different things. You want to really get down to something that you're active on it, because what social media has become, I believe, is a customer service tool. Okay, like when someone's unhappy, they're going to let you know about it. They can get directly in touch with you. It's given them accessibility. It's bringing them part of the conversation. We were talking about something earlier of like user-generated content. I mean, that's the power of social media, is it becomes a conversation versus this big brand telling you this or that. And so social media is really, really powerful, but I think a lot of people use it. People don't understand how to use it. I think it's so new. Also, when we talk about social media, we talk about channels, okay? Like channels. What's the other thing that we think of when we think about channels, right? YouTube. Well, TV, right? So, like the sports, right? The sports versus the news versus the entertainment, right? So different kind of content. What do people do? Right? There's great tools that you can syndicate it. We just post it, the same thing on every platform. Well, people are on different platforms to do different things. And so sometimes you can adapt the content for different platforms, but you shouldn't just push the same kind of content on all the platforms. That's one of the things that people really, really don't like. Now, you could post that video on, the Instagram stories or YouTube or Facebook, and then you could take clips of that and throw that out on LinkedIn, or something like that. But you got to think about what people are doing on those platforms. If they're looking at Instagram pictures, and so you just got to think about the platforms of how you're going to use them. And there's 200 plus different platforms out there or whatever. Pick the ones that you use the most. So I think that social media too, videos are super important. My personal social media account for a while was getting 250,000 views, just posting videos, and I put the name of my company in there and a link back to it, and I was getting about 1 lead a week. I did actually close a deal from back in September from somebody that had kind of found us that way. So it does work, but if there's no ROI with it, and also posting on social media, right? And I'll tell you, there's a ton of agencies out there that say 3 posts a day on Facebook. In my opinion, since March of last year when the algorithm change happened, it doesn't work anymore. And so you want to look at social media just like any other marketing channel, and where's the ROI and what are you trying to achieve? And if you can't answer that question, don't look at kind of those vanity metrics of likes and shares and all that if it's not truly driving business. I can go off on social media, but let me go back to your question. What did you ask again? Sorry. Ask me the question again. The maps. The maps. I think that yeah. So infographics were really, really big for a while for SEO and for outreach. That's something that still is very effective. But what you're doing is you're showing people that you work in those areas. You're also building trust with Google. So I think that's absolutely right. So if you're running, so I work with like plumbers or electricians or something like that, there's schema markup that you can put in to say, hey, I service this area, right? But Google's like, well, you say you do that, but how do I know that you do that, right? It's built into their algorithm. So Did any of y'all use the social media Foursquare ever? Like where you posted like your locations? So there's now commercial services that do that. So you got an electrician that can post a pin where they deliver that service, and then Google in that structured data, Google reads it and goes, okay, they're actually doing work here. And so there's really some pretty cool ways you can do it. I think that Google My Maps, you can build out maps and service areas, and it creates a lot of trust that people, that's just very similar to people that of businesses you worked with, right? We've worked in these different kind of areas. So I think that's really great. No, you can leverage that a lot of different ways. I have a remodeling company, and we got them on the first page, actually first position on Google for a number of different metrics. They were getting a lot of calls in, and they weren't relevant calls because they only wanted to do River Oaks, like Huntwig, Memorial, like the really nice areas, and they were getting calls from Sugar Land and started getting calls from New Orleans. We did too good, and so basically we had to create a bunch of forms because the more forms you create in your site, that's another thing. So like first name, last name, those two different fields, unless you're running it into a CRM that personalizes the emails, just combine those. Same thing with like the addresses, like each box, I think it's like a 17%, I think it's 17%, it could be like 12, but whatever, it's over 10%, you're losing people on every form fill, okay? So you want as few boxes as possible. Now if you have too much stuff and you're trying to vet it, what do? You do the opposite. You add those things. You can add a little WordPress plugin called Honeypot on the back end, and then you can also block IPs outside of maybe the US if you're getting a lot of spam. So there's some different things that you can do, but what we did is we created a map and put it right there on the home page, and was like, we only work in this area. But they were still getting people that were calling outside of that. Also, if you're working internationally, the pages or different pages, or even the whole website, like transcribing it in the right language and having the domain of that area, because people in Europe don't type .com, okay? They type, .eu or whatever, or whatever it is, and people in Australia, AU, and all those different things. That's one of the things that we saw when we started doing a lot of international SEO, is like we're the only ones that go for .com. We're like, what is that with the measurements, right? Like no one, like, right? So they would be they would think we type .us. That's because that's what the rest of the world does, but US is kind of different. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like my talk has not gone like down the path I was going to go down, but hopefully I'm adding value to what you're asking. I mean, we can, yeah.
So, sounds like a dumb question, but the Google rankings, if you're very specific, like you're saying, home remodeling in River Road,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have a high ranking by people looking for that, right? I mean, but if you're trying to go for a broader audience, not that kind of business, how do you get a higher rank?
Sure. So let's see if this answers the question. Now I'm going to shift gears for a little bit. So all you want to know about SEO. Now I'm going to go kind of technical here. So